Uh, so I'll just share my screen. Uh, so I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So I hope my students or the team members have already joined. So shall I start?
Yes, sir. We good.
Sorry. Are we
We
good
can
to start?
start.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I can see.
Sir, just one second. I'll just announce. Brency will just announce the problem statement and the name, so everybody is clear which problem statement we are talking about.
Okay. And can you please tell the team number also associated with it? Okay. I hope it is Chirantan's team.
Brency.
Yes. Well, a very good morning to all the faculty members and participants present here. This is the third debriefing session for Let's Check 4.0 with the aim that the faculty can brief you about the problem statements given by them so that the students can have a better understanding about the same throughout the hackathon. We'll be starting with problem statement 43, iron salt water flow batteries by Dr. Rajat Saxena. Once sir is done with his explanation, you can unmute yourselves to ask questions. Sir, you may please start.
Okay. So I think team number 36 is allocated this problem statement, and we already had a session together. But still, I want to tell about this innovative method of developing batteries. So let's move on. So importance of this is, first of all, we're talking about generation of more and more energy. But since most of our energy right now is coming around 70% of our energy is coming from what you call coal or thermal based aspects. Okay, but that is something which we cannot continue, because if we want to sustain in this on this planet Earth, then there is a need to go for renewable energy. Shift our drive from renewable energy, from non-renewable energy to renewable sources. And as we all know that the most important renewable source which we are using in nowadays is solar energy and wind energy. Now both of them are they come with one problem, that is they are intermittence. They're not available 24 into 7. Okay, so we need an effective storage. And when you're talking about shifting towards what you call a grid level storage, because it's not that we are talking about one single house or a few houses in a colony. We're talking about big establishments. We're talking about big companies. We're talking about cities, right? So we require large amount of storage, okay, which is not possible so far with any of these storage um, capabilities that we have today. Okay, one solution that is seen is lithium ion battery, but they also have limited span of time. Their life is only maximum, as per the new researches, it can go up till 4 to 5 years. So we have come up with this. This is one of the innovative ideas of using flow batteries. These batteries can be a size of a truck, they can be a size of a train, depending on what amount of storage we require. Right? The concept is simple. The electrochemical cell, which you are already aware of, you may be aware of, they are most commonly used, like lead acid batteries these days, or you might have used them in the inverters. Okay, so what happened in that? We have an electrolyte. Okay, we have two electrodes, right? And there is one solution which is known as electrolyte, which actually where power is being generated, first stored and then it can be retrieved out. But one of the problems with that is we have an acid solution which is used as an electrolyte, and which may not be that much environment friendly. Plus we were using lead. Then there came zinc batteries. But you're talking about storage of a grid level amount of storage. So that is not possible with the conventional batteries which you have been using, the zinc batteries, the batteries which you use in our phones. Lithium-ion batteries are a possibility, but then a lot of material will be required for that. But Here I've introduced one of the topics, that is iron flow batteries, in which salts made up of iron can be utilized. Okay, and that flows from this. As you can see, there are two containers in which fluid can be filled. These containers can be as big as we want, right? But right now we are talking about small containers in which small amount of what you call electrolyte, which is referred to as catholyte and anolyte, that can be stored. These are salt solutions of iron. Okay, why iron? That is also one of the reasons why I have given this specific. There are other batteries which are there, which people have shown, demonstrated, that is vanadium batteries, but then they are not eco-friendly, right? This iron salt batteries, after, see, first of all, life is around 20 years. And after that also, the salt which is there, it can be used as manure for your crops or for soil. So you don't have any problem. It is environment friendly. That is the reason why we have come up, why this problem statement can be of a very good environmental advantage. Plus, it is a very good storage solution. The working is simple. What happens is there is an analyte which is there. It is flowing through when current is supplied to it, right? It loses one electron and it goes to the other side. I'm not sure if you are able to see it. It goes to the other side. From here, electron is being transferred, and F, say if it is iron, then Fe3 positive is changed into Fe2 positive. Here, Fe2 positive is changed into Fe3 positive, and one hydrogenium ion flows to this ion exchange membrane. This is the simple working. Only thing is, once you go through the literature, you'll get to know more about what type of salts is to be used. And of course, one important part is that this can be built, even large batteries can be built with very simple equipments which are available in the local shops. So this is one of the very innovative methods, and that is why I want students and this team to work and build one of the what you call prototype for this. It will require an extensive literature survey. First of all, what technology they are going to use, basically what type of salts they were going to use. Then, based on that, you have to, since they don't have to carry out long-term behavior and environmental impact. Already, iron is a good. This iron salt battery is a good for what you call environment. Good in terms of uh, environment, and talking about their long-term behavior, they can function well up till 20 years of time. But team need to develop a prototype of this metal salt flow battery. Okay, for that they might have to go to the market and buy simple options. In fact, a few videos I have also shared with them, so I'm sure they are aware about it, how and in what form they can create this kind of a battery. And of course, I would expect them to prepare a short video that can be demonstrated in front of the jury and the panel members. So, and one more thing, these kind of batteries are something which is not very common, and it has not been developed so far. So whatever design they create, that will be unique in itself, and they can think of patenting it, and in future can also work on developing or building up their own startup. This is all from my side. If they have any questions, if the team has any questions, they can ask me, right? Yes, this is all from my side. Any questions, please? Yes, please. Yes.
Sir, Chirantan here.
Yes, Chirantan.
Sir, so you mentioned the vanadium flow battery is not used.
No, it is used. It is used. In fact, there are companies, Shemitz. I've already shared that video with you guys. That is also a possibility. But then novelty is also one of the aspects which you can be tested upon, right? And talking about vanadium, it cannot be used as a manure, which I told you, right? So, but vanadium in itself is not harmful, okay? But this can be useful. That is why I'm giving you something new. So, and these kind of batteries have been researched also. So there is a possibility. you can go about creating a prototype for this.
Okay. Yes.
Any other questions from the team or anyone else? Okay, then I think there are no more questions.
Thank
Over
you
to the
so much, sir.
coordinators. Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir, for the presentation and explanation. Next, we have Mr. Shani Pandya, who will be talking about problem statement 50. How might we make lightweight and foldable batteries for easy transportation and handling for charging? Shall we plan to remove batteries for charging? As well as problem statement 55, how might we develop a public electric two-wheeler sharing infrastructure solution for megacities? Sir, you may please start.
Good morning. Perfect. Can you restate the first statement? Is it possible?
Yes, sir, of course. Problem statement 50, how might we make lightweight and foldable batteries for easy transportation, handling for charging? Shall we plan to remove batteries for charging?
Okay, perfect. So this was the problem statement. So basically, I'm running my own solar company from last few years, right? And we are facing one of the big challenge in the battery technology because the weight of the battery is too much high. It's difficult to carry and take one from one place to another place. Now, because of that reason, it's bulky, right? So there we need to have some mechanism where we are able to reduce the weight of the batteries drastically. So we can, for an example, if you're traveling a two-wheeler, you need a two-wheeler, right? And you want to take out the battery and take it to your cabins or your office space, and you want to charge it, you are easily able to charge it. That is what is happening with the mobile phones. Our mobile phones batteries are lightweight, and because of that reason, we are able to charge at any of the locations, right? So Mr. Pratik is also there. We have together designed this problem statement, right? So Pratik is also going to add into this. But this is what we want as an expectation. If we are able to reduce the battery weight by 2x, 3x, that is going to be the historical breakthrough in the battery technology as well. Because if you are reducing the weight of the battery, it is also going to help to reduce the overall weight of the electric four-wheelers or the two-wheelers. And because of that, the efficiency is also going to be the increased. Right. Pratik, do you want to add anything into this? You're on mute. You're on mute.
Hello. Similar kind of things. If we reduce the weight of the battery, then transportation will be easy. If you are traveling a long journey and your battery is dead, means battery is low, then you can directly charge your battery or change your battery. Means it's like a battery swapping system. And similar kind of system, if I am at my office and my office is at third floor or fourth floor. So if battery weight is low, so I can carry the battery to the third floor or fourth floor for charging. So if we reduce the weight of the battery, then it might help to increase the awareness of the electric vehicle use. These things we expect from your side.
Any questions for this statement? Then we'll go for the next statement.
Sir, this is Om.
Hi, Om.
And yes, sir, I wanted to ask, is it okay if we are planning to design a modular battery with existing battery technology, which we can target upon four-wheelers?
Absolutely. It's the innovation which you are bringing is on you, right? What outcome we want? We want to make battery technology simple. Right now it's complex, right? We want to make it simple for a transportation of it from one place to another place.
Yes.
For it, we can use any kind of mechanism. That's okay.
Yeah. So I was just asking you that we don't need a innovation in battery cell chemistry, right? My basic point was that I am focusing on making the existing battery technology in a way that we can apply swapping models in electric four-wheelers.
Absolutely.
So that is fine, right?
That is fine. So innovation which you have to bring. You don't have to copy paste anyone. You just have to bring innovation from your side. Right? That is what hackathon means. bring your own product, right? And you have to find out the effective way. What is going to be the effective way to solve it?
Absolutely.
That's
Okay.
Anyone else have questions, or else we'll go for a second question. Brancy, can you repeat the second statement as well?
Problem statement 55. How might we develop a public electric two-wheeler sharing infrastructure solution for megacities?
Pratik, do you want to go for this?
Sure. Generally, in Gandhinagar, there are a public two-wheeler cycle solution is available. So you can directly take a cycle from one stand to another stand with a cost of 5 rupees per hour. So it will increase the awareness in the society. So similar kind of similar kind of infrastructure if we develop for electric two-wheeler, then you don't need to buy a electric vehicle. You have to just if I want to go from Odav to Gandhinagar, then I will take electric two-wheeler from Odav, and I will submit the vehicle in Gandhinagar at the respected location, and I will charge in per hour or per kilometer costing to the supplier. So it will help us to increase the awareness in electric vehicle and use of the vehicle. So that kind of infrastructure, if we may develop, then it will help the society and reduce the emission and control the pollution. Chennai bhai, if you want to add.
Yes. So rightly explained, Pratik. I just want to add two things into this. The one thing, this is ideal an example of bringing a business model innovation into the processor product, right? So in this, you might not have to make products, right? But you have to make sure that it's covering the entire ecosystem. It's covering the charging infrastructure solution. It's covering the electric two-wheeler infrastructure solution. You have to understand the market side as well. What kind of people are going to travel? What are going to be the ideal points for putting up our two-wheelers, right? So this is going to be the ideal statement for addressing the overall ecosystem related to the charging or the electric vehicle infrastructure plus the vehicles itself, right? So this is going to be the business model innovation for having a bike sharing platform for the electric vehicles, right? So if any one of you travel to Goa, right? When we travel to Goa, when we go over there by flight or a train, we just reach over there and we take bikes or two-wheelers on rent from them, right? These are the petrol diesel driven vehicles. We have to convert that into a scalable model plus electric vehicle driven model. So this is the problem statement where you have to bring up business model innovation, a more effective model to make it happen. Any questions are welcome.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Yes.
सर अहमदाबाद में एक यूलू बाइक है जो वो बेसिकली वो इलेक्ट्रिक टू व्हीकल है, वो वेरी चीप है। मीन्स आपको 1 घंटा आप ले जाए उसको तो उसका 10 रुपीज, हाफ एन आवर का 10 रुपीज ही होता है। तो सर वो हम मॉडल अडॉप्ट कर सकते हैं हमारे केस में?
आप मॉडल अडॉप्ट कर सकते हो, बट वी डोंट वांट एग्जैक्ट रेप्लिकेशन। आप अगर कॉपी पेस्ट कर रहे हो ना, वो नहीं चाहिए।
नो सर, नो।
You have to bring that Yulu is facing this problem and we are solving this problem, because when we are in the market as a mentor, we know what are the models already going on, right, and what problem they are facing. For example, Lulu is very lightweight vehicle जो लोग बहुत तोड़ देते हैं रोड साइड, और वहाँ पे एक्सीडेंट हुआ ना तो there is no possibility that the people are going to be survive, to be very frank, right? So what kind of model you have to bring, that's on you, but we don't want exact application. You have to think innovative models into this as well.
Like
right.
just an example, sir.
Yes. So you are going in the right pathway. You can take as a reference and then start to evaluate how we can take it to a next level.
Okay,
yes, similar kind of model in past, I think 2 years back, already in Bangalore, one startup has started. So what happened? After some time, the batteries are मतलब वो actually गायब होने लगी, That's the main reason that the startup was failed. So similar kind of problems you can attack and create one infrastructure that will help the society, and also means if government will go for that, or any private sector company will go for that.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Anyone else have questions?
Sir, this is Om again. I want, as you talked about the business part in this PS55 problem statement, but mine is PS50, which you talked earlier. So I just wanted to clarify that how far do you expect I should go in business modeling in terms of this prototype building? I mean, what balance should I create between technical aspects in this problem statement? Means building a prototype, and what do you think? Where should I go in terms of business building?
So there are two perspectives about this. One perspective is if you're only making for a hackathon, right? You have to solve the problem in the technical terms. So hackathons meant for solving the technical terms. Solution जो भी propose करें वो viable होना चाहिए.
Yes.
That is one. If you're thinking a long term, right? It must be a viable business model, right?
Yes.
It is not like हमने hackathon के लिए बनाया और 10 लाख की Mercedes बना दी, जिसको buy करने वाले दो लोग.
Absolutely.
So you have to make a good balance of it. It depends on your own team and what is the skill set of your own team which you have to solve that problem.
Absolutely.
Right? वो उस पे डिपेंड करेगा और आपको उसी पे फोर्स करके आपको you have to make sure that you are balancing in the right way. But we normally believe ऐसा ना हो कि आपने अच्छा बिजनेस मॉडल बना दिया, right? लेकिन टेक्निकल साइंस से आपको पता ही नहीं कि this is viable or not. So
Absolutely.
You make sure that technically that is sound.
Yes.
Then you are building up your blocks for making a viable for the business as well.
Okay, sir. So I would just want a suggestion in this term. So do you mean that I should go for the technical aspect first and then think upon the? I mean, I will make sure that I am going in line with the business model too. But in terms of business development, do you suggest to go for the technical viability first and then the overall business development of this model?
So both the stuff normal when we do with this, both the stuff work parallel. So so for a business, for a defining a problem statement, you must be knowing what is the problem of our customer.
Yes, I understand.
Hello, sir. Sir, Parth here. Sir, I have a doubt. Do we have to develop a business model only in problem 55, or we have to make prototype also? Hello.
Yes, Parth.
Hello. Am I audible?
Generally, we want a business model in the problem 55. There is no prototype needed.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question?
Are there any other questions? It seems like we don't have any other questions. Thank you, Pratik sir, and thank you, Shani sir.
Brancy, there is one another problem statement, PS51, which is mine. So,
yes.
PS51.
Yes, sir. Okay, sure. Okay, so now we can have the problem statement given by Pratik sir. That is problem statement 51. How might we make a hybrid EV vehicle, gasoline plus EV, or CNG plus EV, or biodiesel plus EV, to remove the anxiety challenge from EV charging industry?
Okay. So generally, this problem statement is based on the capacity, means vehicle capacity to look for long distance. So generally, what happened if we go with the petrol vehicle, or it means LPG, CNG vehicle or diesel vehicle? So we don't need we need to go. Means we don't go to bother about the long distance travel. If you go for a 500-kilometer travel, then it is fine with the petrol vehicle or diesel vehicle. But in the electric vehicle, there is a limitation. If two-wheeler has a 150-kilometer traveling limitation, so after that we need to charge the batteries. and for that it takes hours, in certain hours. So we are not go with the we are not using the electric vehicle for long distance travel. So if we develop such a vehicle to have as a hybrid with the petrol engine plus electric, or some kind of CNG plus electric, so we can go for a long distance travel. So that's the point we can target in this statement. Any questions for?
Sir, it seems like we don't have any questions. In case of any query, we will contact.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Now we can have Ms. Shaitali Mehta, who will be addressing 4 problem statements. First, we'll be starting with problem statement 14, designing of hybrid electric vehicle drivetrain. Then problem statement 28, 61, and 62. Ma'am, you may please start.
Yeah, thank you, Brancy. So in problem number 14, that is designing of hybrid electric vehicle drive, what we expect students to do is that, whenever we talk about hybrid, we always look for electric four-wheelers. But if you look at the, vehicle market in India, 80% of the vehicles on road are two-wheelers, right? And there are so many components that are already there in the ICE based ICE based two-wheelers. That is it. They have engines, they have exhaust systems, they have different motors, gears, and so many things. I mean, you cannot, there are maybe thousands of moving parts in an ICE vehicle, right? And when you want to pair those parts, those engine related parts with an electrical drivetrain, you require a proper balancing, in terms of the torque requirement, in terms of the power requirement, maybe in terms of priority. Okay, so all these things I'm talking for an two-wheeler. So for this problem statement, what we expect is some small prototype that students could make when they want to convert their two-wheelers into an hybrid, or maybe into an hybrid model. So that is for the problem statement 14. Do we have any questions here?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
The statement does not necessarily say that it is for two-wheelers. So it is supposed to be only for two-wheelers, or we can take four-wheelers also?
You can take four-wheelers, that won't be an issue. But I think in the previous statement, the one that Mr. Pratik explained, that was for four-wheelers. So here you can take either one, two-wheeler or four-wheeler, that won't be an issue. But it would be preferred if you take two-wheeler designing.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Are there any other questions?
Hello, hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, actually, our topic is the 55, but I wanted to ask the same question. That the question does mention that we have to do it for the two-wheelers, but is it still possible that we can focus on the four-wheeler prototype too in the problem statement 55?
Okay, for 55, I think I'm not the right person to answer that.
Yeah,
Brancy, can you help me out here?
Yes, give me a second. Is it okay if I can forward your question and we can continue with Chaitali ma'am's section right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Hello. Ma'am, for problem statement 14,
yes.
By enhancing the AC engine with more economy, or we have to enhance the performance?
You have to enhance in, can you repeat your question? Even your voice was breaking in between.
Ma'am, we have to put electrical drivetrain. We have to like couple the electrical drivetrain with IC engine, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So with that, what is our application to increase the economy of the vehicle, or we are looking for enhancing the performance of the vehicle?
Yeah, you know, we are looking to enhance the economy of the vehicle, not the performance.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. Welcome. I think there are no more questions for 14. Can we move on to the next problem statement, if it's okay?
Yes, ma'am. Now we have now problem statement 28: prediction of electric load requirement for electric vehicle charging.
Yeah. So, you know, the government of India has given a target to achieve 30% of electrification in the transportation sector by the year 2030. So, India, there are few states that are already energy surplus. Like in Gujarat, we don't have that kind of problem. But there are also few states which, you know, lacks the production of electricity that is required to meet the existing demand. And if we add the requirement of the electric vehicles, the charging of the electric vehicles, then it would again, you know, add to the existing gap, the gap between demand and supply of the electricity. So in this problem statement, what we expect is you can, you know, take any of the state of India as an example, or maybe the data of any of the state, the last year's data, new vehicle registration data, and then you can calculate that what is the average driving cycle for maybe two-wheelers, four-wheelers, and other types of vehicles, commercial vehicles, and then what would be the load requirement on the electricity grid for that particular state, and what would be the impact of, you know, additional electric vehicle charging on the electricity grid of that particular state. So that is what we, you know, expect, a kind of a model that predicts the requirement of electricity if we convert 30% of the existing existing vehicle fleet to the EVs.
Hello, ma'am. Rishu here.
Yeah. Yes. Hi, Rishu.
Ma'am, I have a question, ma'am. As you know, there are some direct factors, like as you said about infrastructure, how government has built infrastructure for electric load, electric vehicle charging, and how users need, as per their needs of users, and technology, how we have battery circuits and characteristics, power supply mode. So, ma'am, I want to ask, we also have to consider indirect factors also, like, you know, market or benefits.
I didn't understand your question. Can you elaborate a bit? Indirect factors like what type of factors?
No, like if there is a demand in market, we also have to consider that.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, you have to consider that also.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello,
ma'am. Can you repeat about 30% target part in this question?
Yeah. So
what we have to do about this 30%?
Yeah. So what you have to do is, let's take an example here. Suppose that in 2020 in Gujarat, 100 vehicles were registered. I'm just giving you hypothetical numbers for understanding purpose. So out of that 100 vehicles, you have to assume that 30 vehicles of that were of this electric vehicles, right? So, and we have data available on the net that what is the average driving kilometers for and two-wheelers or four-wheelers. You can Google it and you will get it for any of the state of India. So you have to consider that out of 130 vehicles are electric vehicles, and those 30 vehicles travel, let's say 20 or 25 kilometers per day, one vehicle. So you have to calculate in that terms that what is the total number of vehicles registered in last year, and out of which you have to assume that 30% of that vehicles are electric vehicles. And then you have to do the back calculation that what is the charging electricity required by those 30% of the vehicle.
Okay, ma'am.
Is it clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay.
Ma'am? Hello?
Yes.
We have to do this
Yes.
project by recent data?
You can you take the data of 2019 or 20. So
Okay.
it would be
Okay.
more appropriate to the recent time. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Are there any more questions for problem statement 28? Okay, ma'am. Then we can move on to problem statement 61, IoT-based charging station scheduling.
Yeah. So in this problem statement, what we had targeted, what we had thought of is that for charging your four-wheelers, it usually takes around 7 to 8 hours when you use the AC slow charger, or even if the DC fast charger to charge your vehicle from 0 to 100%, it usually takes around 1.5 to 2 hours of time to charge the vehicle. So no one has that much time to go to the charging station and charge their vehicle and wait for 2 hours. And if there are some vehicles already charging at the station, then it becomes a trouble for the user to wait for maybe half an hour to 1 hour for the previous person to charge their vehicle, and then again waiting for 1.5 hours for their own vehicle to get charged. So in this problem statement, what we expect is a prototype that could be made based on IoT, where the charging station could communicate via some application to the mobile interface of the users, stating that okay, at this particular charging station, charger A, B, and C, okay, charger C is available, right? So a user can book the charging slot that okay, after 20 or maybe half an hour, I'll reach the charging station, the charger, and the charger could be made available to that particular user. So at least the waiting time that is there for the user could be removed. We cannot do anything about the charging time because that is the whole another argument, right? So the waiting time could be removed, and the user can go to a particular charging station and directly plug in their vehicle to charge. So that was the requirement of this problem statement 61. So I can welcome any of the questions that are there for this particular statement.
वो राइट जहाँ पे नाम लिखा होता है ना वहाँ पे जा.
Are there any questions for problem statement 61? Okay, so ma'am, we can move on to problem statement 62, calculating optimal placement of charging station.
Okay, fine. So what we have observed is one of the biggest hurdle, in the adoption of the electric vehicle is the availability of charging station at proper locations. So it is not feasible that I travel for around 15 or 20 kilometers just to charge my vehicle and then come back. the range, the 40 kilometers driving range that is available in my vehicle, that could be lost in just going to a charging station and charge my vehicle. So, and this is one of the factors. There are many different factors like the grid stability, that is the availability of high DC power at that particular location, higher voltage of power. Then the availability of land, the availability of parking area, vehicle traffic. These are some 4 or 5 that's factors that needs to be considered while you want to place a particular charging station for any of the city. So here in this problem statement 62, what we expect is a unified algorithm that if we put in, okay, this is the particular usability available for the charging station, that is maybe 50 or 60 kilometer 50 or 60 vehicles pass through that particular road within an hour, and out of that it can be assumed that maybe 1 or 2 vehicles needs charging every hour, and there could be another location where maybe 100 vehicle passes, and out of which 10 vehicles need charging because of lack of charging stations in the vicinity. So in that way, the students can assume few of the parameters, and then they can come up with an optimal location for placing a particular charging station within the city. And apart from that, there are few government guidelines that in for the city specifically, that for every 3 by 3 kilometers grid, one particular charging station needs to be established. But they have not specified that out of that 3 by 3 kilometer area, at what particular location that charging station could be established. So that needs to be analyzed, and that is the expected outcome of this problem statement. Are there any questions? Feel free to ask that on those.
Are there any questions for problem statement 62?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. It's Manan.
Yes. Yes.
Do we have to use the data? We have to design it according to the electric vehicles available in India, or we have to form it in a general form? Like, can we use data to form it, or we have to generalize it?
You can generalize it.
Okay, thank
you can say that these are the 4 or 5 points that you have assumed at the beginning, and then you can, based on those assumptions, you can come up with your solution.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, you said something about for a particular charging station, we will have data about how many particular how many cars or how many vehicles pass through that particular station. So what do you mean by we don't do we need to use that data to because in problem number 61 I'm talking about. So in that what we have to do is just schedule if I'm having a application, I could just schedule with my nearest charging station that I want to charge my vehicle between hours this and this. So is there any slot available for me? And if there is, I can just book my slot and go there. So that data is needed or not?
For 61, I don't think I have said that the number of vehicles passing on the road is required. For 61, it is IoT based charging station scheduling, right? That is the problem you are asking about?
Yes.
Yeah,
so
for that.
Yeah,
okay. So for that, no, you don't need those type of data. You can just book the slot if the charger is available at the time that you want to charge your vehicle.
Okay, so basically in 61 we have to do 2 things. One, we have to do it IoT based stuff on the station, and second, the application for the user. So there are two
Right.
things
Yes.
over this statement, right?
Yes. 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 Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone with any more questions? Seems like we don't have any questions. Thank you for your time, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah.
Now we have Mr. Rachan Sitapara, who will be addressing problem statement 18, EV for defense sector, and problem statement 56, utilization of vehicle in high altitude region. Sir, you may please start.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you. So first of all, let's take 56, utilization of a vehicle in high altitude region. So first of all, let's understand as in terms of psychological and philosophical aspect of this problem statement. Every time like there is a number like कि अगर 100 vehicle मनाली से लद्दाख जाते हैं तो due to that around 0.5 mm of glacier पिघलता है. And due to all these reasons, government wants Ladakh to be carbon neutral. And because the ecology is very sensitive there, and there are many other problems are going there also. So, and the region is very cold. So like in terms of IC engine vehicle, they are also like getting problem in starting in the morning or the night, because mostly क्या बोल सकते हैं कि major part of the year the region is very cold. So वहाँ पे ये सब problems भी होती है. And government is also bringing solar power plants there. 1.5 megawatt का तो power plant की sanction हो गया, and 75 gigawatts का आने वाला है. And like अभी जो होता है कि जनरली वहाँ पे जो भी IC engine है वहाँ पे वो हीटर लगाते हैं ताकि engine हीट हो जाए, उसके बाद they can start the engine. So in all these scenarios, how can we tackle the situation कि we can make Ladakh carbon neutral, we can also save the ecology, and we can also design something क्योंकि like the terrain is very difficult there, वहाँ पे hills है, like so the battery needs a good surge of power and also requires like a high range because villages are far there. And तो इन सब चीजों को कैसे टैकल करें in terms of psychological, philosophical and technical aspect, that is the problem statement number 56. This is what now it's open for the question if anyone has.
If anyone has any doubts, they can just ask sir.
Okay, so I missed one point. Like the battery chemistry is one of the important thing, because in cold region, normal battery don't work or उतना efficiency नहीं मिलता है. So you can work on battery chemistry or some kind of heating mechanism, then can be possible.
Hello, sir. This is Abhishek. I am working on this problem statement PS56. So my doubt is, you are asking for the ecological way. So if we are kind of, our model is based on using of electricity at a high voltage. So what kind of parameters we have to consider, like the minimum uses of your voltage or the heat use?
See, the major concern is about the first of all the region is very cold. कोई भी Himalayan range में तुम देख लो, कोई भी altitude में. So like that is the major reason about the कि ये problem statement लाया गया है. So how you can tackle कि जो cold region है वहाँ पे you can get the better efficiency as well as the better surge of power. So in that term, like if you can work, so वो like appropriate होगा in terms of storage thing.
ओके सर, तो हमको किस पैरामीटर्स पे मतलब कि किस पे फोकस करना है कि हम लोग गाड़ी पे मतलब कि जो व्हीकल है उसकी एफिशिएंसी पे ज्यादा फोकस करें कि जो सराउंडिंग एरियाज के जो अफेक्टिंग सोर्सेस हैं वो उस पे अफेक्ट करें,
See,
उस पे फोकस करें?
it's up to you. Like if you want to isolate all the parts with something, तो भी कर सकते हो. If you want to increase the efficiency की in terms of कि काफी high power की जगह तुमने low power motor लगा दिया है, like all the like cycle पे भी तुम काम कर सकते हो, जो भी like battery, BMS, motor and all the electronics other parts जो भी included है, वहाँ पे भी like you can work on it. So it's up to you, I think.
Okay, sir.
So you understand basic concept, like it's not just about solving the technical need, it can have that other parts also.
ओके सर. सर वन मोर डाउट सर, एज यू टोल्ड कि टूरिस्ट भी आते हैं बाहर से लद्दाख घूमने, तो हम लोगों को जो काइंड ऑफ कैटेगरीज में जो नंबर्स लेने हैं व्हीकल्स के, वो सिर्फ लद्दाख के इंटीरियर या बाहर से जो आ रहे हैं हर दिन हर ईयर के टूरिस्ट, वो भी नंबर कंसिडरेशन में लेना?
सो यहाँ पे दो चीज हो सकती है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल कि यू कैन टारगेट द पीपल ऑफ लद्दाख एंड ऑल द हाई एल्टीट्यूड रीजन, अरुणाचल के भी हो सकते हैं, and some part of Nepal you can also consider. So we can make it generic also in terms of high altitude region. It cannot be focused on Ladakh. So like we are focusing on the portion जो Himalayan range के आसपास है. So you can take that number also. If you want to focus on Ladakh only, so you can take local number as well as the travels number also. So like first thing is to mapping of the problem statement. On basis of that you can identify the problem exact कि क्या करना है, and on basis of that we can find the solution. So you can go through the complete design process if you see in this problem statement. That's why I kept it very open.
Okay, sir. Sir, and do we have to consider the gasoline engines upgradation?
I didn't get the problem.
Like you in the problem statement, this mentioned that kind of something Fate model was used to increase the efficiency of the engine in the cold regions.
Yeah.
So do we have to consider the gasoline engines?
So the thing is कि अभी क्या चल रहा है? What is the current scenario? That was my concern. That's why I added that कि अभी क्या करते हैं कि there is a jacket लगा देते हैं IC engine के ऊपर, and that jacket hits the engine. So क्या है कि वो start होने में problem ना करे. So that was the current scenario there, which I have observed. So that I mentioned there.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Any questions for problem statement 56? I don't think we have any more questions.
No problem. So let's go to the problem number 18. So about the problem statement number 18, like military, like now government is very focused, Make in India candle. They are also providing funds to the startup and MSME to create a local ecosystem for the defense. So in terms of that, EV is also one of the key factors because it has advantages regarding key, like it has very low noise than the IC engine. It has very low thermal print. ताकि क्या है कि like if it is in the night अगर कहीं पे जा रहा है and notice ना हो पाए, that is one of the key reason. Then yeah, 1 minute. So these are the main thing कि EV can make this defense जो भी equipments है उसको like it can make enhancement in that term. So you can create a kind of 2+1 like two passenger and one driver kind of arrangement, or it can be 2+3 1+3 also. So this arrangement में what kind of it has also similar like you have to go through the complete design process कि you have to map the situation, you have to identify कि क्या क्या problems हो रही है and what solution you can provide in terms of that. So there is no constraint as such कि इस direction में करना है. So it is very open in that term. So you can create a kind of package of sensor system कि उनको क्या क्या जरूरत पड़ सकती है. It should be multi-terrain कि land पे भी चलना चाहिए, mud पे भी चलना चाहिए. It can have like some advanced feature also in terms of security. The major thing is the discharging cycle, like because the vehicle is stopping somewhere for like more than 1-2 hours for recce of the area. In terms of that, it is very difficult to identify the situation कि वहाँ पे battery life क्या होगी, कितने kilometers तक चलेगा. So you have to recreate or remodel the discharge cycle for specifically for the defense vehicle. So वो करना पड़ेगा यहाँ पे. And yeah, you have to give the cargo space also in that. You can, so people can put their logistic also there. So this is all about the problem statement number 18. Any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
So about this, sir, like, do you expect us to just make a vehicle which only runs on electric vehicle, basically running here? I define it like the movability of the vehicle, not about the armory systems.
No. See, the concern is about making it a kind of a blueprint of the vehicle. It's not about कि उसमें कितना detail में जाना है या क्या करना है. So it is kind of like I earlier said, it is a complete design process. You have to identify, you have to map the problem, and what are the process and what are the iteration you can create in terms of solving the problem.
Okay, so just it is like basic giving up solutions only, na?
Yes, so solution, but it has some. It should make some sense.
It should have some information, statistical information which relates to it.
As well as like it should solve the need.
Yes. Okay, sir. And any expectation, like what do you want? Any speciality,
So,
like you want this to be there itself, like this should be there.
There can be some sketches for the vehicle. It can be 3D or pen, like paper sketches also can work. And it should identify the like a kind of package of sensor system and like any high-end technical features in terms of machine learning or AI or something. And like as I said, the discharging cycle you can also work on.
Okay, sir.
So I want you guys on work on this 3 parameter, as I said, like psychological, philosophical, and technical. So you can also understand the whole holistic approach of the problem solving.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Any other questions?
Sir, it seems like we don't have any other questions. In case of any query, we'll get back to you. Thank you so much for the
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Now we have Dr. Swapnil Daraskar with problem statement 9, energy efficient nanometers for energy storage system. Sir, you may please start.
Am I audible, Brancy?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, good morning, dear students. I'm Dr. Swapnil Daraskar, dealing with problem number, problem statement 0, PS09. Basically, if you look into the title of this particular problem statement, it is mainly focused on energy efficient nanomaterials for energy storage system. Now, the idea behind it, first of all, I just want to give you the brief background about this idea. That means one kind of a motivation, how the role of nanotechnology plays into the, come into the play, and in what sense the nanomaterials are really, important to provide a good solution for the energy storage system. So if you look into the currently the nanoscience and nanotechnology has provided almost many areas, and over last, 1 decade, the ability of this particular material at atomic level or molecular level, and understanding of their fundamental process at nanoscale have led to a new avenues. That's why the knowledge of this particular topic is really acquired and translated into the innovative process, leading to design or fabrications of better products. More significantly, we can say new scientific phenomena and process have emerged that could provide either one kind of revolutionary or novel solution to the energy concept, environmental concept, and sustainable mobility challenge that will really face by the humanity in the 21st century. Now, with this demand, how we can look into this particular problem? With this demand for clean and sustainable energy sources increasing at an exponential rate, and new materials, technologies are being explored that could provide a cost-effective solution. Second, environmental clean solutions to the world energy, to resolve the problems of the world energies. So development in the area of these alternative fuels or energy storage technology, like we can take an example of advanced batteries, fuel cell, ultra capacitors, and and some other areas like biofuels are really emerging as a strong contender to petroleum-based sources. Now, I just want to give you the brief about the idea. Basically, the objective of this particular work, we are trying to focus on the screening of such a nanomaterial, which are really give us a good, good result in terms of the energy storage system. You can take an example of fuel cell. You can take an example of solar cell. You can take an example of plastic solar cell. Plastic solar cell is a new concept where you can say this particular solar cell, if you use a nanomaterial, then this particular cell is really efficient. Even we can able to capture the solar radiations during the cloudy session as well. Okay. So likewise, we can identify the major objective of this particular problem statement is to identify or to screen a novel nanomaterial which gives us the best efficiency for energy storage system like fuel cell, like you can say solar cell, plastic solar cell, or few more other things. So basically, your job is to need to identify the various, there are various list of the nanoparticle. You can start with a low cost nanoparticle, let's say titanium dioxide, alumina-based nanoparticles. Then there are different class of nanoparticles like metal-based nanoparticles, ceramic-based nanoparticle. So our job is to identify or compare about the various range of the nanoparticle, and we want to pick a simple and low-cost nanoparticle, which gives us a good efficiency in terms of energy storage devices, which solve the application like fuel cell, solar cell, and then other application. As you all of know, lithium-ion battery, is having the great interest and got a great success in terms of the material electrochemistry. But still, the concept of this nanotechnology is really, give you the promising results. That's why your job is to identify the best or screen the best nanoparticle, which really useful to give you the better result in terms of the energy storage devices that may be fuel cell, solar cell, plastic solar cell, or biofuel. You can identify the use of nanomaterial as a catalyst in terms of some other application that is related with energy storage system. Likewise, this idea we floated, and I am expecting we need to set a good business model based on the concept of nanotechnology, because many of the researchers are trying, working hard to identify the best solution for the energy storage system. So personally, I think nanomaterials or nanotechnology plays very important role, and we need to identify the energy efficient nanoparticle for the good energy storage system. So this is all about the idea and the objective of this particular topic. And I think if you have any doubts or if you have any questions, so you can ask me directly, so that I will be happy to answer you this particular questions. Thank you. Bensi, anyone is there to ask for some questions?
Sir, no one has raised their hand, but anybody who has a question for problem statement 9, please unmute yourself and ask.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Brian.
Yeah, it's Brian. So thank you so much for the clarity on the problem statement. So my concern is this is a very broad field, as you've explained it. We can have in terms of the plastic solar cells, the fuel cells, and biofuels. All this nanotechnology really plays a big role. So in our solving our approach, should we specify on a specific, like I want to deal with the plastic solar cell, or you want us like to do like a general, like we include all of them together in our package, or should we specify? What do you advise? Should we be more specific in our area?
Yeah, see, Brian, since we are dealing with the hackathon, I think you guys have to focus on the specific kind of applications of the, our job is to identify the best suitable nanomaterials for the specific application. If you want to pick the topic of plastic solar cell, then try to compare which kind of nanomaterials, having the good capability to, or good properties, which is really useful in terms of plastic solar cell. Likewise, you can pick, I don't want to encourage you guys to go for the multiple application. You need to stick with one application, but your role is to identify the various different kinds of nanoparticles, starting from low cost to high cost. There might be some possibility. Even sometime if you go for low cost, that may not be give you the good results. But your job is to identify low cost nanomaterials and some higher range nanomaterial. But ultimately, your job is to identify the best suitable nanoparticles so that we can address that nanoparticle property. And whenever we present something in front of the panel member, we need to highlight the uniqueness or the novelty of that particular nanoparticle in a specific application. You got my point, Brian?
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone there?
Hello, sir.
Ms. Neha, go ahead.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, except the cost part, which are like the other factors that are mandatory to consider while selecting the nanomaterial?
Most important is the tunability of the property. There is actually now, if you look into the literature, many of the researchers reported titanium dioxide is having the best capability to use that kind of nanoparticle to use into the energy storage system. But our role is to identify, can I tune the property of other nanoparticle and make them very effective? Because even though, I just want to give the example, the potential of lithium, everybody knows about the potential of lithium-ion battery. Still, the people are not relying on, they want to compare some, they want to do some research to modify further and try to identify the best solution which replace the lithium-ion battery, right? So likewise, your job is also identify if someone reported titanium dioxide nanoparticle is the more effective, then you need to focus on such a nanoparticle which inhibit the property of the titanium dioxide nanoparticle, but gives you a more best result in terms, and again, cost effectiveness as well. So you can first important part is the tunability of the property of the nanoparticle is really important. But don't worry, I will see, we already prepared some groups, and definitely the moment when you interact with me afterwards, we will give the complete clarity on that. Hope, Neha, and you understood?
Yes, yeah. Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, any question is there?
Sir, it does not look like we have any questions. In case of query, we'll get back to you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Yeah.
Next, we have Dr. Nagabu Gallapati with problem statement 11, design of PV-based charging station for electric vehicles. Sir, you may please start.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, okay. Here my bandwidth is slightly low. Because of that, I'm not opening my video. Okay. Just for your recording. Okay, I'm opening my video. Okay. Again, I'm stopping my video. Yeah, the main motivation of this project is we have to prepare a PV-based charging station for electrical vehicles. And here, when you are talking about charging stations, there are different topologies. Okay, directly we can charge from the PV panels, or we can use the hybrid model. That means, okay, we know that okay, PV will not generate the power for the 24 hours. Okay, for that purpose, okay, what we have to do, we have to see a hybrid model we have to go. Okay, whenever the PV is generate the power, we can storage that, and again to stabilize the total system, okay, we have to go for hybrid model. Okay, let us see. And here, okay, there is a one more thing is in which direction we have to keep. That means, okay, we have to extract the more power from the PV panel. For that is we call MPPT, okay, maximum power point tracker. Okay, how we can extract the more power from the PV, that we have to see from the this problem statement. And we have to see, okay, what are the different converters that we have to use to extract more power from the PV, that we have to study in this problem statement. Okay, there are different topologies. Okay, we have to use either MATLAB or any software. Okay, we can see that, okay, which topology will give the better output for the electrical vehicles. Okay, that we have to study in this problem statement. Yeah, this is the main the problem statement. If anybody have any query, okay, please let me know. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay.
Any questions for problem statement 11?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, Rajkumar.
Sir, MPPT has 3 algorithms. Do we have to use all 3?
No.
MPPT, for maximum power point tracker, we have 3 different algorithms.
Yeah.
Do we have to use all 3 algorithms?
See, first of all, we have to test with one algorithm. Okay. After that, we can see that the possibilities. Okay. First of all, okay, there are, okay, not only MPPT, okay, there are different topologies, okay, for converters also. Yes. Okay, first we have to check with the one converter topology. Okay, once we have to successful that, we can go for another topologies. Okay. I don't say that first we can go for in the deeper manner. First we can go for in the lighter manner. First we can test one algorithm and one topology. Okay, and after that, that same algorithm we can apply on the different topologies. Okay, once we can get the output, and after that we can implement the different algorithms of MPPT on different topologies. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Path.
Sir, I have a doubt. Sir, are we supposed to use AC integral charger or DC charger or the combination of both? So what is the process?
We have to use this combination. See, that's why I'm saying with the topologies, okay, different topologies, okay. We have to use, okay, all the combinations. First, we can use DC, AC, like that, okay. Combinations, we have to do multiple combinations. From that, we can see which one will give the better efficiency or better output. That is our aim, actually.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, any other? See, in this problem, directly we don't go to the design, okay? Whatever the idea we have, we don't directly into the problem. First, we have to test, okay, different topologies and different algorithms, okay? After doing all these regressive analysis, and after that, we can suggest this is the best topology for the EV, okay? And in the later part, okay, you can design based on the best topology, okay, based on your suggestion, okay, this is the best topology for EV, and after that you can go for designing based on your suggestions. I hope you are get the clarity on the problem statement.
Do we have
yes, sir.
Okay, any other doubts?
Sir.
Yeah, Jay.
Should we concern about grid power or just PV module itself for the charging of electric vehicle?
See, grid power at present, see, we don't go for grid power. Okay, that is also one of the topology. Okay, at present, what we have to do, okay, first PV plus battery. Okay, first you can look into that. Okay, the later part, okay, and again here, when you are going for designing of charging station, okay, how much, okay, voltage it is required for the electrical vehicle and what capacity it is required. Okay, according to that, okay, we can see that, okay, how much power is required from the grid. Okay, at present, we can see that, okay, independent of grid.
Okay.
Okay, actually, that is our main, okay, what we can say. We have to look into independent of grid, okay, not dependent on the grid. We have
sir,
to give
what do you mean by sir topology exactly?
Topology
what
means
we have to start
different combinations. Topologies means different combinations, just like AC, AC, DC, DC, AC, DC, like that. Combinations.
Okay, for charging.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Okay, just like suppose PV, what we can say, PV, battery, and grid. Okay, when you are talking about hybrid, okay, we have a different combination, just like PV, wind, battery. Okay, wind plus battery. Okay, these are different combinations. That is, we call different topologies.
Okay, sir. So we don't have to think much about the electric vehicle, just to how to charge or where to charge.
Okay, first,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you don't think more about the electrical vehicle. Okay, we have to generate the power which is sufficient to the electrical vehicle. But you should know, okay, how to, what is the input condition for the EV. See, actually in the grid, it is a AC. Okay, I think, okay, EV, it is a DC. Okay, whatever the generation from the PV, again, it is DC. Okay, let us see, okay, how we can, I think, okay, whatever the electricity it is generated by PV, we can directly give it to the EV. But when you are going for combination, again, we can look into that. Okay, how it will be, are you getting the DC or not, that we can see.
And sir, last question, what about battery bank? Should we focus on that part or only direct charging?
We should add that also. That's why, okay, the different topologies means we have to give different combinations. Battery, PV. Okay, it is here, we are making PV, design of PV, but here it should add battery also. Why? Because PV, it is not sufficient to give the charging for the electrical vehicle.
Okay, got it, sir.
Okay, any other? Okay, I hope no one have any query.
Yes, sir. It does not seem like we have any more questions. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
So that were all the problem statements for this session. Thank you, everyone.